We are back with our third and final interview part with Tommy Dreamer here from PWinsider.com. Thank you again. A couple of months ago, the ECW arena closed. Place is pretty much stripped down to the bare minimum of the walls now. When the final show came around, I remember contacting you and you felt it wasn't going to be the last show. It was just a lot of talk. Do you regret not going back and working that last show at all, knowing that now the building that we know it as physically and like that we were familiar with it as is no longer standing? I mean, the structure's still there, but the actual guts of the building have been ripped out.
No, man. As I said before, I don't really have any regrets. I mean, for nostalgia factor, yeah, but again, this is also a business, and it wasn't the right financial move for me, and I had a great time. My career was made there. That was the building Tommy Dreamer was pretty much born in, and I've had some really, I did everything there on my own terms. When the original ECW went out of business, I got offered a lot to go back, there before I went to WWE, and I said I would never go back unless it was on my terms, and I was able to bring, ECW back there, and I was damn happy of it. And when I worked there for Chikara, man, I love Chikara. I love working for Chikara. I love their style, and that became more or less their little home, and I love that. And I had a great match with Eddie Kingston there. I really enjoyed it. There's you gotta at times sadly say goodbye. We said goodbye to the old Yankee Stadium. We said goodbye to Shea Stadium. It sucks. I swear so much, and I joke about it, that I want to win the Powerball so bad because I can change the world, and not just for wrestling. Like I so know what I would want to do to try to help and change the world with health care and a lot of stuff like that. But, that's why I keep on playing. Hey, you never know. But I wish I won that Powerball. So to answer your question, no, I don't have any regrets because I've had so many great memories there. I wish the building was still there because, the only building left is the Mid-Hudson Civic Center in Poughkeepsie, which, I'm happy to be running wrestling there. It's a bigger venue, but, Philly is also my home. And I wish it was around, but it's not. But no, I don't have any regrets.
Well, let's talk about the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, because that's where the House of Hardcore School is located. What lessons have you learned since opening up the school with your partners and getting students and getting them into the drills and teaching them the business and passing on what you've learned? What lessons have you learned as a teacher?
At times, it's funny. I feel like I'm Johnny Rods again, like stuff that he's told me, and you kind of go full circle. I have a great group of guys and one girl, and they're willing to learn. A lot of guys came in not in shape, and I think a lot of people see that, if they see a video game or they see it on TV, they think they can do it. When I went to wrestling school, I was in really good shape, and there's guys come and they're not in good shape and they can't do it, and they think that but they can hit the ropes or climb the top rope and they can do that with ease, but they're not in any shape, and I'm trying to get them in shape. I may be look like I'm fat and out of shape, but I do hour cardio a day, and I never blow up in the ring. Never have. I'm really got good wind. Because I know how to pace myself. I can't do a cruiserweight match, but, when I worked King of Trios, I was hanging with guys, the Young Bucks, Bennett. I was hanging with them and doing my Tommy Dreamer style. I also teach respect, and I teach a love of the business, and a lot of guys... I think there's a whole, and I don't mean to sound like my father, but I think there's a generation missing in the sense of, I've had some kids answer back to me, and it's just like, I'm your teacher, you paid me to teach you, you need to listen to me because I'm going to do nothing but try to help you. And if I tell them, and no question is a dumb question, but don't fire back because you can't do stuff. I remember I couldn't do a front roll. And I was terrified to go to the top rope, and then one day I just did it, but they're representatives of me when they go out there eventually and have their first matches and everything. I want people to be, back in the day before there was a million wrestling schools from a lot of non-qualified people who were teaching, there was only Larry Sharp, Johnny Rods, and Killer Kowalski on the entire East Coast. That was it, and there's a lot of guys who were produced good wrestlers that came out of those schools, and then all of a sudden, all these other guys opened up wrestling schools, and there's not a lot of great wrestlers out there, and it's a reflection of a lot of indie shows that you go to. There's a lot of great talent out there, but then there's a lot of crap, and I don't want anyone to be like, oh, who trained you, Tommy Dreamer? You're crap. I want people to be like, wow, that's a Tommy Dreamer guy. I know people know me for hardcore and extreme wrestling, but I was a pretty decent wrestler. I was no Eddie Guerrero, Dean Malenko, but I can hang with those guys. Not as good as they could, but I know my basics. I was taught that, and what I teach them in school is, and like I said it with the whole House of Hardcore promotion, and it's kind of been our mantra. In life, you have to crawl before you can walk before you can run, and run before you can fly. And everyone is in the crawling stage right now. You have to be willing to sacrifice and crawl, because that's what you're going to do. No one will start from high school baseball and go to the major leagues, and that should be the same with wrestling. It's a long process. It used to take guys working in territories every night for it used to take you almost 10 years to make it to the WWF at the time. And now it's like, with the developmental, they ask guys, oh, you're a pro football player, you should make it in 2 years. It ain't gonna happen.
Let me follow up with one last question. You talked about developmental. It just seems like there's a danger of a lack of stars being made and a lack of future talents. You work in a lot of independents. You're running around a lot of different places. Is there a next generation? Because when you look back 10, 15 years ago, there was a great variety of talents. You had your Malenko, Benoit, Guerrero style guys. You had your larger muscular guys who were athletic like the Pitbulls. You had guys who were working your basic mat wrestling style like Paul Levesque was when he was breaking in. You had guys working European styles like William Regal was. And there were all these different places, all these different countries where guys could learn. The German style was different from the British style. British style was different from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico was different from Calgary, Japan, etc. Now everything is kind of like a watered down or a derivative version of WWE style. Being out there, do you see that there's a next generation of guys that are going to be the next generation of Dreamer, Taz, Triple H, Dudleys, Benoit, Guerrero? Or are we looking at things are just going to continue the bubble's just going to keep getting smaller?
I do feel the bubble is getting smaller, but there are a lot of good talents out there. The problem is wrestling sometimes isn't based upon talent. It's based upon who in charge at that time and if they like you or not. Sami Callihan could be the heavyweight champion of the world. He's intense. He's great in the ring. And he may be viewed as someone who's short. He doesn't work short. He's great. Just like Taz. The world believed Taz was a UFC fighter. And it was also how Taz worked. I'm a big fan of like Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, Jay Lethal. There's a lot of guys who are out there, that work for Ring of Honor. I'm a big Kevin Steen fan. I don't think Kevin Steen will ever make it to the WWE because of his weight. And that kid could be heavyweight champion of the world as well. He's great on the mic.
You were talking about Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen could be WWE champion.
But they would probably look at him because of his body. And that shouldn't be. I love what drew me to wrestling was, oh my God, there's your Andre the Giant, but there's your Dusty Rhodes, who, was charismatic, could talk, and, he wasn't a muscular dude. There's the honky-tonk man. There's, you had every single thing imaginable. But now you just kind of have a lot of cookie cutter. Hopefully the WWE will see it and will try to change that. I think a lot of the guys are coming, like, I wrestled him, John Moxley, he's part of that.
Right, Dean Ambrose of the Shield.
Yeah, he and that whole little Shield group. You will find your diamonds in the rough, and hopefully they will be able to get that opportunity to, excel.
Right. Well, I want to thank you for sitting down and talking to us and doing this interview. Any final words for everybody watching this?
Again, thank you for supporting my entire career. Thank you for supporting this website. This is where I get all my scoops, gossips. Not really gossips. You guys only really deliver the facts, which is cool. A lot of fans will ask me like, hey, about rumors. You guys report the facts, so that's cool. And thank you for supporting me, and thank you for following professional wrestling, because what the hell are you doing on this website if you're not following professional wrestling? Go. If not, you should be watching porn or watching something else. So stick to this website for all your wrestling needs, and thank you for being a Tommy Dreamer fan.
All right, Tommy, thank you for your time.